You work for 8 hours and make, let's say, 2,000 euros, and then you come from in trading, and with like 5 minutes per day, you expect to make 2 times more. This is crazy. The strategy has a super high win rate, and we have winning streaks like 3 months in a row. I even had 6 months in a row, and that's also danger, because you can see, oh, I'm making money today, tomorrow, and you start thinking, oh, but George say that this should be the risk, not risk much more than this, but I'm winning. I'm winning today, and then you think again, and then you think again, and you see 1 month, you see 2 months, you see 3 months, and say, you know what, like, I'm gonna do it, you know? And when you do it, that's when the news comes. Yeah, it will destroy you.
Like, come on, this is too good to be true. This can't be so easy. And then I decided to join the mentoring program because I wanted to have my own thing, my own strategy. And I worked with Marius, was very good and very helpful. And of course, I invested some time.
How much money the best guys in the world are doing? They are making like 5 to 10 millions a year. Okay, good numbers, but those are the best. What are the chances for me to get to that level? Count. You know, I'm good, I like it, but to get to that level, it's quite hard. And then I was thinking about trading, and exactly what you say. Okay, I was thinking, how much money the best guys in the world are doing? Those guys are making tens of billions, you know, hundreds of billions, trillions with BlackRock. Those are the big guys. Then the guys, quite good, they are making billions. The other one, hundreds of millions. Others, tens of millions. Then even lower, millions. Hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. Okay. I don't need to be the best one. It's if I will be, you know, a bit above the average, I will still be financial free. So that was the reason why I say, okay, left poker, left tattoos aside, and only focus on one thing. Don't put age as an obstacle, because from what I see into our mentoring program, where the majority of our members are 30 plus, you know, and also the data that I have from Funding Dynasty, where I also see the age of the people that are trading there. I can tell you, people that are older are much more likely to be successful, because trading is not about charts that much.
Right.
Trading, it's about discipline. Hello everyone. Today we have with us Alexander. Visit us from Germany, and I want to say thank you to him that
Thank you for your invitation.
took his time and did this effort to come and visit us to our office, and also speak a little bit about his process in the program, a journey that I would really like to share with you, because there are a lot of things that you can learn. I also learned a lot, and it would be nice to be found, to be said. So, Alexander, please tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you? What do you do for a living? These type of small details about how did you start. So,
No problem. I'm still 57 years old. Will be 58 in 6 weeks. I'm a mechanical engineer, and that's what I'm doing for a living. I'm a sales manager for a company where I'm into nuclear technology. So this is quite high.
that's really that sounds as rocket science, not trading. So when you compare this with trading, that's rocket science.
Yeah, sometimes it is science, so it's technical stuff, of course. I have 2 kids, boy and girl, which are in their 20s now. They're both studying at home in Germany. I'm married since 30 years. So
that's a
I have a very consistent path in my way. For example, I'm still driving one car my mother bought 50 years ago. It's a Volkswagen Beetle convertible.
I mean, we're looking for pictures with that car.
Yeah, I have pictures of that car, of course. Okay, that's my thing. And so I came into trading. It was It was a commercial I saw from a German guy, who told something about trading, and I thought, give it a try. I was skeptical, but I thought, okay, it was not too expensive, but it came out as, I would not say that he was a scammer, but it was nothing for me. So it didn't work at all.
Yeah, sometimes, it's not about that some people are scammers, it's just not for you. And
I could not understand what he wants. And then I saw another commercial from you, from Trading Busters.
do you know the commercial?
I think it was the one with the guy on the forklift.
With the candlestick?
Yeah,
Like measuring, and you see, that was funny. Yeah.
and then I thought, as an engineer, statistics and probabilities, that sounds very interesting. And so I gave it a try, and I made a Zoom call with one of your colleagues. And it still sounds very interesting. And on the other hand, parallel to that, I read your posts and what you said about it, and you had been telling something about your thoughts, and I found this very, very positive. And so I think this could be something for me. When you have statistics, probabilities, you're doing more or less, you're doing the same. You have consistent ways. You're predictable. And yeah, that's that. I got access to the Buster signals.
So this is how you got first thing. That's the first product you got from us. Because we used to have Buster signals, a product that we don't have at this moment for sale, because we like to concentrate more on the people in the program. But we may open that again. We don't say no. We still run the group, even if we don't have members. They are still there.
But I must say, this step was very good for me, because I thought that I saw that it worked. And that was the most important thing. Not only promises, but real results from more or less the first day. I paid a little bit, and I got a very small account, and I got the signals, and I saw from the first day, wow, it's working. Second day, it's working. Third day, it's working. So, and that's what I thought. Come on, this is too good to be true. This can't be so easy. And then I decided to join the mentoring program, because I wanted to have my own thing, my own strategy. And I worked with Marius, was very good and very helpful. And of course, I invested some time.
Because you need, a signals, it's one part, or both are one part of, if you want to learn.
And it was not always fun to make the verification,
Homeworks.
the homeworks. Yeah, as the homeworks. Sorry. But yeah, I finished that, and then at the end I have my own strategy with also trading with, and so yeah.
Because it's one to get signals and copy me. That's absolutely no problem. You can, if you're looking for just maybe an extra income, it's very suitable. Yeah, that's it. But of course, if you want to find out what's behind that and really interest you, this is the main. That is the next step. That's why we open Buster signals at that point, just to show to the people that you can do it in a predictable way. What we are saying, it's not exaggerate, it's actually the reality.
Yeah.
And that was a great thing, because people join the program, see that it's working, try it for the price was convenient for the majority, not increasingly or stuff like that. It was not our plan to rip off people with the signal. We just wanted to, not starting, okay, let me teach you. Because, come on, there are so many scammers in these days. Let me teach you, because that's the easiest way, let me teach you. And when you say, let me teach you, you can say, oh, it was your fault at that point. It was your fault there. You didn't do that. But when you send signals, you cannot lie there, because you send them. Okay, you send them once, 2 times, 3 times, 7 times. But when you start sending them month after month, you realize that it's a way to make money, and it's a predictable way to do it. So at that point, if you want to get to the next level, you can come and join the mentoring program, but not even that straight away. First, you had a call with one of my team members there. It's, we like to have in the mentoring program people that really want to do this, come with real expectations. Because if you come with a realistic expectation, you will not be able to work with your mentor. Most probably, your mentor will not be happy to work with you, and
that doesn't make sense if it's but my expectations from Ilikini were not that I'm realistic enough. I would say it was clear for me that I don't get a millionaire within 6 months. That's not realistic.
What was the first reason why you got into trading, Alexa?
Because I saw a huge cake. I have no idea about trading, but I know that billions every day around the world. And I say, if I have some very small grains from that would be good for me.
You know what? That's quite funny, because that was the reason why in my 20s, I also did tattoo. I was a tattoo artist. I really enjoyed, and I played also poker. I was quite good, and also did trading. And the reason why I stick to trading, because all these three was, immediate focus, and I need to give up. I only go with one. And the reason why I give up of tattoos and poker and choose trading, focus only on trading, that was the reason. I was thinking, okay, as a tattoo artist, how much money you can make? I was seeing tattoo artists in Miami, LA, those shows 10 years ago. They made like 100K a year, 200K a year, the best ones. And I was thinking to myself, no, I'm good, I like it, but come on, I will never be the best one in the world. It's hard to get to that level. So the ones that are, quite good are making too less for my dreams. Yeah. Then I also think about poker. I was, okay, how much money the best guys in the world are doing. They are making like 5 to 10 millions a year. Okay, good numbers, but those are the best. What are the chances for me to get to that level? Come, I'm good, I like it, but to get to that level, it's quite hard. And then I was thinking about trading. And exactly what you say. Okay, I was thinking, how much money the best guys in the world are doing? Those guys are making tens of billions, hundreds of billions, trillions with BlackRock. Most of the big guys. Then the guys, quite good, they are making billions. The other one, hundreds of millions. Others, tens of millions. Then even lower, millions. Hundreds of thousands. Tens of thousands. I say, okay. Yeah, I don't need to be the best one. If I will be, a bit above the average, I will still be financial free. So that was the reason why I say, okay, left poker, left tattoos, the side, and only focus on one things. That was a great observation. What you say there?
Yeah, it's clear. I have a good job, so I live. I can live from my salary and from my wages and my family and everything. But I thought it would give me some freedom if I had some extra money. Not for a Ferrari or for something, but just to have the feeling of, okay, it doesn't matter whether something costs around 500 euros or you have to pay a bill which you have forgot, or if your refrigerator breaks down, something like that. And my expectations had not been that high from the beginning. I said, if I could make 500 euros a month consistently, that would help a lot. 500 additionally to my salary, 500 euros is okay. Now I dream a little bit bigger because I'm funded now. I have reached that for me, first very, very important step. I was so much looking for it. And it took some time, okay, but I got there. And now I have 2 other challenge accounts, and I'm building up my prop firm capital. Yes. And yeah, now I have some other numbers in my mind, and I think I can reach them.
The reason why you get here is because you had realistic expectation in the beginning. This is the way of thinking. You have a salary. You need, in moment when you start trading, you cannot start trading thinking tomorrow or in 1 month I need to leave. You cannot think in the beginning, I need to make money to pay my rent. That's not work. The pressure that you will have, you will make a lot of mistakes. Increasing risk, over trading and all of that. That's why you need to have a source of income, and trading should be only seen as an extra income, but a realistic extra income. It was a quite funny moment. I had a webinar, and I asked people in the webinar, okay, how much are you looking to make as the extra income from trading? And everyone you said there, $5,000, $10,000, even $20,000, $3,000. I say, okay. I'm like, there was nobody there under $2,000 a month. I say, okay, that's crazy, all right? And then I ask, okay, how much money are you making right now? And there was like normal salaries, $1,000, $2,000. And then I wanted to ask this because I wanted to show to the people that that's not realistic. So basically, you make, let's say, $2,000 a month, euros, 2,000 euros a month, let's say, and then you come from trade. So basically, you work 8 hours. You probably work at that job for like many years. You have a lot of experience in doing that job. So you work for 8 hours and make, let's say, 2,000 euros, and then you come from in trading, and with like 5 minutes per day, you expect to make 2 times more. This is crazy. So that's the way of thinking. Thinking as an extra income. Pay a bill. Think about this. You work 8 hours, you make $2,000 a month. Think about how it will be to, make an extra 20% of your salary in the first 6 months.
Perfect.
Pay the bill, do something. And after that, of course, you can grow because you see this right now. Yes, you see this right now. But maybe if you wouldn't have that mentality through the beginning.
But as you said, maybe it's one part is mentality, and the other thing maybe is life experience. Then that what you can expect from life, and there is nothing which are very few things which happen overnight. And if you're starting away, you have to go that way. And very positive, and what makes me think is I don't have to spend really a lot of time with that approach into trading. I do not have to stare all day on charts which you don't understand. And as you say, you can't rule the market. The market rules always you. And the only chance is when you see some patterns and some statistics, and you are going that way and making your way, going your way, and then it will have success.
That's the way of doing trading with statistics and probabilities. The traditional trading where you analyze the market, it's indeed quite hard to do that with a job. It would push you to make the mistake thinking that your job, it's your job fault because you are not making money. But it's absolutely not correct. With statistics and probabilities, maybe you can confirm this, Alexander, like what it was, this like put any problem to do your job or be a father, take care of your family?
No. On the other hand, I'm not a worker in a factory, so I have the luxury. I have my own office, and I have some. My time or my work is not measured in time or something like that. So, and I have the freedom to say, okay, I do my homework for half an hour.
Yes, that's a part of that. The part of the mentoring when you learn that you need to put a lot of time there in the beginning. But the part of the execution after that will never stop you to have a job. We encourage everyone, never quit your job until you say, okay.
No, I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. Not really, no.
It's not the point. The point is not to quit your job. The point is to make more money in the beginning from different sources of income. So job, it's a source of income. It's a stable one. Then come trading. Then maybe you find something else. Of course, you can reach moments where you say, with 5 minutes a day after you have your strategy and you learn and everything, with 5 minutes a day, I'm making the same amount of money as I'm making to my job. So maybe that's a point where you say, okay, Lord, I'm going to quit my job. But you already have all the experience.
At my age, another interesting perspective is, of course, not to work until full retirement. So because according to German law, I have to work another 10 years to have the full rate. But I think it's a little bit too long for me. So another 10 years of working, I like my work. Don't get me wrong. But as older you get, you have seen so many things in life. You have raised your family. Sometimes you have the feeling, so, okay, it would be good enough if you are working only half the time. And this can help, of course, if you are building something in trading and you see it's working and it is working and you have this monthly additional income. Maybe I quit with 60 or 62 or something like that.
So you see, this is what I like. What you plan everything, as you can see, as everything has a reason. Nothing is exaggerating. All right, nobody hears the trading busters talking about making millions overnight. As you can see, everything try to be predictable, a bit by a bit, a bit by a bit. And this is also how Alexander reached 160,000 euros in FTO, yes, which is $200,000. Because okay, the $200,000 or 160K down to euros.
And the good thing was, as soon as I got funded, you got your cash back from the first, and I invested that into a second account. And I have a third account, which is meant for my daughter. And so I'm.
So the other accounts are still 200K, like 160 euros or $200,000. So it will be a total capital of
480, and then I have a 50K account at funding price, which is in legacy level 2.
So quite
right, 1,000 euros
to pass that one also. So how much did you be?
530 something.
So that's the way of getting $500,000 in funding. But as you saw, everything started with like a realistic expectation in the beginning. It's not a problem of wanting that lifestyle. That's why, end of the day, we start, investing our money, thinking about, working more and stuff like that. Because you don't work more because you want to basically have like the same life. You work because you want this life, vacations, cars. Why not? That's taking care of your family. But you need to understand that it has to be done step by step until you get to.
You don't have to lose. You must not lose your focus on your goal. Even it takes you some time, and it will take some time, of course.
And thinking about big numbers, because me and Alexander, we spoke on our way here to the office in the car about, people sometimes are afraid about thinking big numbers as $500,000 in funding. That's $500,000. That's a lot of money. Okay, now you may think, okay, but George is not real, like live accounts, but it's funding. So as with $500,000, if you make 5% a month, that's a lot of money. All right, that's a lot of money. So with that 5%, you can basically buy another 10 to 100K accounts from different purposes, and in like 3 to 6 months, you can have millions. So what I'm trying to say with this is the road to, let's say, your first 100K, it can take 1 year. But then from 100K to 500K, it may take 3 months. And then from 500 to 2 million, it may take again other 6 months and so on. So you see, so this is the hardest part, where you learn, you take everything step by step. But that's the beauty of trading. After you reach a certain level, from this to the next one, it starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, nothing will be possible if you don't take everything step by step. Alexander, tell me, what would you say to someone that they say, George, I'm too old for this?
No, you are not. You are not, baby. It's an advantage if you are older. Because as I said, you have some experience in life. Maybe you have a better common sense, a better gut feeling than a 20-year-old or 25-year-old. So, if you have to have some discipline, of course, and you have to believe in what you're doing. And don't change anything while trading. So I made that mistake too, that I thought I am smarter than the strategy. And I remember that day when the hedge began, and it was going the wrong direction.
And you panic.
And I panicked, and much too late, I got out manually and lost 4,000. And then 2 days later, there was a loss. So
that's the thing with, making mistakes. But when, as Alexander say, guys, don't put age as an obstacle, because from what I see into our mentoring program, where the majority of our members are 30 plus, and also the data that I have from Funding Dynasty, where I also see the age of the people that are trading there, I can tell you, people that are older are much more likely to be successful, because trading is not about charts that much.
Right.
Trading, it's about discipline.
Yeah, that's one really very important factor is the discipline, and you are doing what you have learned, your strategy, and doing it again and again and again. And even if you have a setback, a loss, okay, then you start recovering and making the same thing the next day. And this is important. Don't trade on news. Be disciplined.
Easy things that when you have some experience, okay, you made a mistake and you understand that was a mistake. But when you are in your 20s, you say, okay, George saying not to trade in news, but I can make money today also. Of course, you can make, but maybe you're not going to make money. So, so that's why it's more likely to be successful if you are, over 30, because you have that life experience. And because you have the life experience, what does that mean? Does mean that you worked and you saw how hard it is to make money. But people in their 20s, they don't appreciate money because maybe they worked 1 year. Maybe there are people that start trading and they never worked. So you cannot ask someone that never worked and saw how money are made, how hard the money are made. They will never appreciate money in the beginning. But when someone that's been working for, let's say, 10, 20 years, no matter the job, those people appreciate money. And as Alexander said, okay, how nice would be to have like $500, because you know how hard it is to get that $500.
A salary increase that gives you 500 more per month is nearly impossible to get that.
So you see, you appreciate the money, and that's why these people come with real expectation, because they know how hard it is to make money. But kids, on the other side, I can say kids because I am 32 also, so I'm not that young anymore. But comparing the 18, 20 years people in this industry, they don't appreciate money. Of course, they want to make millions because they don't know how hard it is to make $1,000 working 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, doing overtime and being time each and every time and all this stuff.
Yes, and maybe you have family when you're older, then you have responsibility, you have your kids, you have your family, so and financial stuff it's a big factor in having security and things like that. So
exactly. So when you increase the risk, maybe you made one mistake, but it will be less likely to make another one the same when you think, okay, so if I'm going to lose money again because of my fault, because I'm really, okay, you think about, but it's my wife, my kids. Maybe, those money are not that important for me, but it can be very important for them. Food, rent, mortgage, school, and all this stuff. So you see, you are more likely to be disciplined and follow a system. And when you make a mistake, like as you say, I made one mistake, that was it. Because you think not just about yourself, but about all these how you think. But when you are in your 20s, you don't care. You say, okay, but maybe if I lose, but if I'm gonna make it, let's go.
And there was a feeling too when I told my family, I only told this to my closest family, my wife, my children. Nobody else knows that I'm trading. And as I said it to them, and they asked me, so what can be realistic? What do you think? What the outcome will be? Then I felt somehow like I gave them a promise. You know what I mean?
I 100% know what.
I decided to make that step, and I decided to invest the money into learning that. And so that was the point where I gave them a promise, and I said, okay, I will go that way, and you will see there will be success and there will be an outcome. And that is what keeps me going that way too. As I feel.
So that help you also, be more disciplined with the money. Because you also made the proof. I do these things also many times when I have something that, I need to focus, be disciplined. I tell to my wife. So in a moment, guys, try this. It's not just about trading or anything else. When you tell to your wife or your kids, you have a responsibility, because after that they'll say, oh, okay, but you say that you got to make it. Well, there, what was that now? So it's a responsibility. So that's why, again, you have, because of the age and family, that's not the weakness. That's a strength in this domain, guys. Don't put this as an obstacle, because it's not at all an obstacle. It's actually a great thing. And Alexander, I want to ask you something. How much, counted in your way, or let's say, when you tell to your family, oh, I'm gonna do trading. Maybe they didn't understand, but they trusted you. They trusted you. But it wasn't any difference when after you say this and also, got so many payouts and got those money, and they saw that you can actually really do things with those money, and those money are real. It was that in the change of the mentality for them or for you?
Yes, they tipped their head. Yeah, my hardest critic was my son. He's 26 years old. He has finished his studies. He's a smart guy, and he was skeptical until the end. How do you think this will work? Come on, you hear so many bad things, so many negative things. Do you really want to? And then he said, so wow, that's something. You did it there.
Yeah, so that's why it's important now to make some withdrawals and not reinvest everything. As you need to show to the people around you that those money are real. And you don't blame them if they don't support you from the beginning, because they have all the rights to not doing. End of the day, there are some numbers. This domain is full of scammers and bad things about trading. So it's normal for your family to not support you full. Maybe they say, okay, but they will never support you in full until you show them that those money results are real money.
But of course, I can understand it, because if there's something telling you more or less, I have a strategy and you will be able to earn some money with that strategy and it will work, then you think, come on, the world is not working like that. So then there's not coming someone around the corner and is telling you, I have a promise for you and I will keep this promise. Of course, people are skeptical when they hear that. And so, as I said, the first moment my skepticism was over, more or less, was when I saw the results from the beginning. And I said, okay, these are hard facts. This cannot deny that.
You cannot fake it. You couldn't fake those signals. I know. We also have the group open right now for the members that pay that point. We send the signals every single day. It doesn't matter if we have the signals open for public or not. We keep our promises. Very important for us. We send the signals every single day in the group, and that gives the people trust. Because a lot of people come to us after they got scammed. They went into tens of other signals groups, and they need that win. After you get disappointed again and again and again and again, you need a small win. You need to see some consistency there, because otherwise it will be very hard for you to get back up.
For a very short time, I was it's long ago, maybe 2 years. I was in another signal group. It was total chaos. So the signals came, and when you had the chance to enter something that it was already delayed on some
brother you are. Or TP1, take profit 1, take profit 2. No. You know, first I want to show, it was in not, to be honest, first when I opened Trading Busters, the community and everything, I only offer the Buster signals, and I never thought in the beginning that I will teach people how to trade. There was never my plan to teach people how to trade, to be honest, my concept. The only plan I would say, I saw a lot of signals rubbish, like no structure at all. Take profit 1, take profit 2, enter now. Come on, you cannot calculate your position in a second and enter the trade. You are at your job, when the signal will come, that guy sent 10 signals, 6 of them are wins, but you only entered in 4 because you didn't have the time to enter in all and you lost money. So there was no structure. I said, really, Lord? I will open a signal group. The only things that I wanted in the beginning, I'm super honest with you, it was just I wanted to make extra money from this service.
Why not?
That was it. I'm super honest. That was the reason why I opened Trading Busters and I offered the signals. Because I saw so many rubbish signals group and they made a lot of money from subscription. And I say, you know what? Why I wouldn't make also some money from that? So this is how I opened Buster signals. And you saw the structure every single time on the same hour with a pending order, so you have enough time to calculate your position and, you know, be able to place all the trades in time and everything accordingly with the risk management, not modify the take profit, move the stop loss. That's not, you know. So it was a great feedback from the people, and people start saying like, George, can I learn? Can I learn? To say, Lord, it would be nice actually to teach this. So this is how also the mentoring program started. But we started in the beginning only as a signal provider. But from that point, from only my thoughts that I would make some extra money after I start opening the mentoring program and see the people in the program and the success of the people, it was never anymore about just I want to make some extra money. But it was we start being about building a community, helping people, and all this stuff. Oh yeah, in the beginning it was just.
When did you start Buster Signals?
We started Buster 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, so 2.5 years ago. So 2.5 years ago we launched. It was in 2 years and 3 months. It was in the summer, I think so. Or May of that year.
I joined March 24.
All right, so it was approximately 1 year after we launched the signal group. But we wouldn't get here without the signals groups because, you know, that signal group showed the people that what we are doing here, it's real, it's working, and that's it. And if you only want the signals and never want to learn, that's up to you. Not everyone should be a full-time trader, all right? We have, as you have your job and not any plan at the moment to quit the job. You know, there are also doctors, lawyers, business owners that they don't want to change their careers, you know. It's just an extra income, and most probably it will remain an extra income for them.
Yeah.
It's absolutely.
We're not planning to, of course. Yeah.
It's absolutely not a problem, you know, if you just want an extra income. But, you know, if you want to.
And maybe I retire some years earlier. That's not bad.
So that's great. You know, if you want to turn this into your main income, and the mentoring program is for that, you know, to be fully independent and have your own strategy, as Alexander does. Because when you have your own strategy, you never have problems with like copy trading and all the other stuffs. And you are fully independent, let's be honest. I mean, now you don't depend on me. You can.
I'm still using Buster Spot, of course, but I have my own strategy.
You see, that's really what you say with the Buster Spot. People come to us and say, but George, I'm profitable. All right, why should I also use Buster's bot, for example, or any other of your bots? And I say, look, this bot is not paid only, you know, that I am better than you or is better than your strategy and should never be. It's just about, you can see it as just adding another strategy to work on your capital. and that's it. It's not a problem to use Buster's bot or any of my other strategies, and also use your strategy, and maybe develop another strategy.
Of course, a bot is super convenient because you have literally do nothing. You just have to start the bot. And if I had the knowledge, I would make my own strategy into a bot. Yeah, because then I have to press the switch, and that's it.
It is. I mean, for me, after 2000, because at the end of December 2023. Yes. At that moment, we start developing and turn my strategy into a trading bot. And I say, why I haven't think about this earlier?
Very clear.
Because you don't have to do anything. Not even when you trade with statistics and probabilities, you trade 5 minutes a day after you learn. All right, don't get me wrong. After you learn, the learning process, it can take much more than this. But you still need, I remember myself, putting out the car at that specific hours, not flying because I didn't have internet, all this stuff. Right now with the bot, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are, what you are doing, because it will open up. And what you say, this is our plan also to open into the mentoring program, offer the possibility with our developers team to code everywhere strategy. Also, this coding part, the world is full of scammers. You have a strategy, you want to code it, and you search on internet, you will find a lot of scammers. Trust me, this, we experience this. It's very hard to trust someone because there are a lot of keys in these days. They will say, "Oh, I know it, I can do it. Everything can be fake." And it's not about that you will pay these guys and those guys will not deliver. That's the smallest problem that you can have. The big problem is that they say the bot is ready, and you put that bot into operation, and you can lose a lot of money.
Yeah, of course, that's
if it was not done correctly. So that's a big problem. So what we try in the program is to also add this option for people that want to code their strategy, to use our developers team, to be secure in everything and be sure that the bot will operate as our bots are operating. But yeah, it's different. But trading manually, it has to be done in the beginning. Because if you don't trade manually, you will not be able, trust me, to see the pattern, see the conditions. When you trade manually, you will see that condition. You know that. So your brain, it's absorbing information, and you're able to have
I have experienced this myself during the homework. I have seen so many trades during that period that my mind was really focused on certain patterns, and I had a look on the charts, and I say, okay, stop loss or take profit on the first few.
So that's why those homeworks out there, they are not there just because we don't want you to go very fast into the program. But when we do those homeworks, we basically push you to absorb informations, because only in that way your brain will start seeing, as you say, oh, I saw a trade there, and maybe it's something here I don't see, Marius don't see, your mentor or anyone else. You are the only one that are seeing it, and this is how we are able to create our own strategies, because there may be patterns that only you can see by mistake, by I don't know how. But when you do homeworks and you do charts and so on, your brain will accumulate informations, and from that point you are able to use those conditions and create your own strategy.
Which feels very good if you have your own strategy and say, now I'm independent. I don't have to listen to anybody. That's my stuff. So that's good.
That's another feeling. I mean, that's the independence, because you are able right now to create any strategies on any markets you want without my help. If we are never going to talk again from this point, you will still be full integrated because you know everything I know, so you can create as many strategies as you want. It's not the case, so we don't talk, guys. Even after the mentoring program that you have will finish, it's not about done. We never spoke with you yet. No, it's we really try to build a community.
I am still in contact with Marius, and sometimes I'm asking him something. I just say hello. That's
And your program ended.
it ended. I think it was in April.
In April. So, guys, it's never just about the program finished. We don't care about you anymore.
No, it really feels like I'm a part of the community. So it feels good. So I'm in good hands, and I have nice people around me which knows something, and I can ask them. And as I said, I have regular contact with Marius. It's good.
We really want to help people. Again, in the beginning, my only thought was how I can make some extra money from selling my services. But after I opened the mentoring program, that changed a lot. It's super nice to have this community, inviting people, getting to the level where I can invite people here to Bucharest from our community, meet so many, interested people around the world. That's the best feeling. It's more important than money. Trust me, this. In the beginning, when you don't have money or that much money, the money will be the most important. But after you have all the money that you need, because there are all different levels, you will start seeing that it's not anymore about the money, but about the people that are around you, what you want to do to be left behind you, and all these things. Alexander, one more question. What do you think about the financial education in the world? Maybe how you try to speak to your kids, because they are at that age looking for more.
I would say that I have seen that with my parents. My parents had both been teachers. We had a good life when I was young, and so. But with investments, my parents always said it's much too risky to invest something. So the stock market, and this is you will lose them. That was their mindset, so to say. I have a different mindset, and I told my kids when they were in that age, if you have some extra money, then try to invest it, because if you have a lot of time, then the time will work for you, no matter what you are investing in, no matter it's ETF or it's Bitcoin or it's gold or something like that. Just let the time work for you. And if you see all those long-term curves, you always see, even if you have some setbacks, but you see overall, you see growth, and you have to participate, and you can make that with a few bucks. It doesn't matter. When you're 20 and you have $500, then just put it in an ETF or whatever. And that's what I taught my kids, and they are level quite successful with it. So they are, but they have something that they have built on their own. They saved up money and invested it, and now you always see the gold rally. They have gold. They are participating.
That's because not everyone should do day trading. Okay, day trading, it's different. Okay, the returns are also different and all this stuff. But if you don't have too much, or you don't really want to put any time at all, just try to do any investments. $50, put them in Bitcoin. What can happen? Over the long run, if you're looking at ATS, S&P 500, if you look back, you'll see that it's about 10%, 10% a year, which is amazing by doing nothing.
Yeah.
Just by doing absolutely. And
the more time you have to invest, the better it is.
If you start earlier, you will retire faster. Trust me, this, because as I spoke with Alexander also, when you start investing, it doesn't matter the amount. So guys, don't think about what should I do with $100? I'm not gonna make anything. Don't think like this. It's not about that. When you start investing, you will start seeing more about this domain, and we put you in contact inevitable with people that are looking for extra income, investors and so on. So from that $100, you will start getting more and more into this part of investing and extra income, and you will start seeing a lot of things. What if you say, oh, I'm not putting in Bitcoin because maybe it's a scam? You will never.
Bitcoin is reality.
Even it's a scam, guys. Guys, trust me. I don't know if I'm saying this, but look, if you have $50, it doesn't even matter if you put them and that's a scam, and you gotta see that $50. It will be more helpful for you, because maybe that's a scam, but put you in a position of seeing that it's other possibility also to make money. And from that scam, maybe you'll put in contact with another person that's not a scam, or another crypto or whatever asset. I'm not a crypto guy, all right? So don't, I'm saying crypto because it's much more no, and that's why. What start, it doesn't matter. Buy a course if you don't know. People are thinking, oh, but I'm not gonna buying this guy course because he's not making money from trading. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just get a $50 course. It's not gonna make you rich. Come on, it's $50, all right? But at least you will get into this domain of investment.
But on you say $50 is not much. That's correct. But my kids, even if they are only in their 20s, they have their plan when they want to have their first 100K invested, all money, and they say they're working for that, and so they are on their way. So you never know, but they are on their way. They have started something, and they are doing that. So and I think that's very important for young people,
because they started. If they will never started, they will never have that. It's a goal, okay? It's something there, and inevitably your mind, will start getting more and more into that without you doing nothing. All right, your mind, okay, oh well. You see from that $50, it's 55. All right. So if I'll have 100K, that means 10K. And your brain will do the math and all these things and will push you into this direction.
And I wish I had that advice when I was young, because I didn't have the advice. For me, it was, I have, for a very long time, I have repeated that what I learned from my parents. So now I had to grow some decades later. Then I saw what it is when you have time and when you can invest something, and that what I was trying to give to my kids, and yeah, it's working at their level.
That's financial education. Now, of course, don't put your house into all right, or all your savings, guys. That's gambling.
That's gambling. That's a completely different thing. Investing is not gambling, so this is not at
all the time. Inspiration in the beginning, only use the money that you are forced to lose. As Alexander say, you say to your kids, okay, put the spare money. All right? The spare money. So if you have some money left, don't buy a pair of shoes, another pair of shoes. You have one that you honest. Try to do something different for once at least, and you will start seeing results, and then your mind will change. But never risk the money that you are not okay to lose, especially at the beginning, because it's a very tiny line between investing and gambling. All right, so especially in the beginning, I've been seeing in the trading masters, in the founding dynasty, thousands of traders, and I heard, as my story was when I lost everything I had, and I heard so many stories close to my story where people from putting few hundred and few thousand, then start investing big because they were greedy, and people that lost millions of dollars into this. That's blowing my mind, When I created the mentorship program, I said to myself that it's not just about helping people to make money, but more about helping people not to lose money.
Yeah, and that's where I can come back to discipline and risk management. These are two very, very big points when you are starting trading or doing something like that. Risk management is crucial. Without a proper risk management, you are about to lose everything. And discipline, no greed, no over trading, no revenge trading, no.
Without this, you cannot. You can enter into Buster Signals or use my bot, and with the same strategy, with the same bot, I and so many other hundreds of other members are making money, but you can still lose money because it's about money management. Of course, the strategy works. We are making money for years and years. I've been using the same strategy for like 5 years now, and each and every year I'm making money. But that's because I have a risk management. Of course, I teach everyone the risk management that I'm using, and it's super easy to make a risk management. But the hardest part is to stick with that risk management. Yeah. Because making money every single day, because the strategy has a super high win rate, and we have winning streaks like 3 months in a row. I even had 6 months in a row, and that's also danger because you can see, oh, I'm making money today, tomorrow, and you start thinking, oh, but George say that this should be the risk, not risk much more than this, but I'm winning. Well, I'm winning today, and then you think again, and then you think again, and you see 1 month, you see 2 months, you see 3 months, and say, like, I'm gonna do it, And when you do it, that's when the rules come. Yeah, it will destroy you.
But that must be clear to everybody. But statistics also include a loss. That's it. The question is how often statistically that loss will appear.
And when. We don't know when. We know that will appear, but we don't know when. As an example, you have 2 per year, but you don't know when they will come. And to be honest, we don't care. As time as we have the money management in place, nobody cares. It's as simple as this. But as Alexander said, money management and the discipline to follow it after that is the hardest part. As you say, with the example you give with Buster Signals, when you close the trade, when you shouldn't close the trade.
I knew it better, and it was much too late because I was high in minus, and half an hour later it was take profit. It was
that's a mistake that can destroy you. Why? Because you will get upset. You will start questioning yourself, fighting with yourself. Oh, why I did this? I cannot do it. And guess what? The next day, the mistake that you can do, increasing the risk, adding more capital, again, and increasing maybe you keep the same percentage, was okay, I'll want more money right now. But now the risk is higher. Of course, the percentage is the same, but the money that you risk is higher. And if a loss will come after that, because that loss shouldn't come, the one that I took, it will ruin you. Totally. So you see, one bad mistake about money management can ruin everything. But, it's easy to say, follow the money management and discipline. But guys, it's quite hard to do. That's why not everyone managed to.
Yeah, but maybe sometimes we have to go to that bad, negative experiences, and they say you can learn from that, and they could say, okay, how could I? But this will prevent you from doing it again.
To be honest, sooner or later you will do this mistake.
Yeah.
The best things will be to do it sooner. Well,
later, yeah.
The capital will not be that big. All right, it will be to be sooner and understand that if you did it once and you didn't understand, it's a big problem because this domain is just about discipline, not getting emotionally involved. That's why this system based on statistics and probabilities helped me and helped so many others because there are less chances for you to get involved emotionally when you don't take decisions, you don't analyze anything. Just follow it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, depending how many conditions you have here. You open the charts, guys, and we see, okay, so this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. Okay, perfect. Conditions are met. And then it will say, oh, the entry is here, the day profit is here, the stop loss is here. You place that, it takes you 2 minutes to identify the trade. That's correct. And place the position, right?
And what I cannot recommend is to watch the charts after you have made your trades, because this can stress you mentally. If you see, oh, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up, oh, it's you lose. So just stay away from it. Make your trades, stay away from it, and wait for the take profit.
This I can tell you after 12 years that this it's become easier to watch, but it's still not comfortable.
No,
I'm not watching my charts. I'm not watching this. I don't watch my my trades. Okay, of course I open my phone and have a look. All right. But I never keep the charts open when I'm
cannot hypnotize the charts, and you cannot influence them by watching them. But yeah,
your brain knows that those money are there and it's going up and down, up and down. It's, oh, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. So come on, no. This is
Okay, again, so even after 12 years, I'm not panicking when I see it, but it's not comfortable.
No,
so just think about it. If not even after 12 years of doing this, I'm still not comfortable.
It will never be
watching chart. It will never be comfortable, and can put it in a bad position if you are a beginner, especially, and you watch the charts when the trade is open. You place the trades. We don't need to administrate it. Place the trades. Get out. Enjoy your day. Yeah, right. So we see that's the way. But of course, if you trade with technical analysis, it's quite hard to do this because you have those type of if you GD, I move the stop loss.
That's it. I must say I don't have any experience with that. I must admit, of course, but from what I know and what I'm hearing, this for me is a nightmare. To watch something which is moving constantly and is not following any real rules. I know that there are these constellations of candles and whatever, but this is, for me, it's kind of magic or black magic or whatever. And so for me, it would be a nightmare. And to watch it all day, you get rectangular eyes during the time. And so, no.
And it is. And, Alexander doesn't have any experience with technical analysis because, you use signals, as you say, but first, the first contact with learning, it was from the beginning with statistics and probabilities that, that the guys, that you are watching as you use this type of trading style. Of course, you use it because there is no other trading styles. Technical analysis, Marhani concept, supply, demand, all of them are the same. So all of them requires you to analyze and take decisions. All right. And the hardest part is you watching, let's say, a 50-minute chart. I don't have the charts here, Joey. You watch a 50-minute chart and you drag your line, support, resistance, whatever, and it will show, it don't go up. And then you change to 1 hour and you start seeing that it's going to go down.
Why?
What do you do now? And then you execute on the 15 minutes. And the price is going down. So you say, you enter buy. It shows you buy on the 15 minutes. And you enter a buy. But you saw that on the 1 hour, it shows you sell. And now your mind, what will say?
Of course.
I should took the 1 hour because it's more
stupid. That's right. Yeah.
And the other way around. So it's basically, I've been there for 5 years. And it was the worst 5 years in my life. Every single day, you question yourself. The trade is open. It's going to your direction. And you say, what if it's going to go down now? I will close it. No, I'm not going to. I will move the stop loss to break even. And then the price come down, hit the stop loss, and come back and hit the take profit. And say, why I did this? Why I don't trust myself? Next time I will do it. And guess what? Next time, you want to move to break even, but you don't. Because last time we did it and hit the break even, but after that went to take profit. So you lost a lot of money because you didn't let the trade. And now guess what? Now you're not going to move the stop loss to break even. And now the trade comes in your direction and hit the stop loss. You're going to cry now. So it's a nightmare, guys. I am sure you understand what I'm talking about. That's the nightmare. I don't see myself ever trading that way again, no matter the money that I could make, all right? And I made money that way because I grew my account to $100,000. And that happened 7 years ago. $100,000 into your live account is a lot of money today. Think about how it was back then, all right? But I still lost them all. So what's good? What's good?
I felt that would have destroyed me, to be honest. As I heard your story first, that you built up that account on that size and then you lost everything. So you have to. This is a very, very hard mental thing.
And it was not just about the money, y'all.
Yeah, I understand that. I think I understand that. So
That was about that, all my dreams, everything I did. Because the only thing, guys, that I give up, poker, tattoos, the jobs that I had, there was only jobs to make money. I never liked the job that I did. It was freaking nightmare, all right? So I never saw myself doing that my whole life. It was just jobs that I needed to make money. That's it. It was not a career or something like this, which is totally different. Because when you have a career, you may like the job, but I hated the jobs. I did them just because I wanted to make money. So 5 years, I worked for one thing only, to become a profitable trader. And then after lost everything, the only thing it was in my mind, I remember like it was yesterday, it was, even if I will, get back to work, I would build again my account. Getting back to $100,000, what's gonna stop me not doing the same mistake? That was, I say, okay, that's like that.
And believe it or not, I can imagine that situation, because as I was on the way to get funded, and this was for me a big dream. It was a big level which I wanted to reach so bad. And when you have a loss, then even if it's only a loss, but it feels bad. It feels bad, and you think, oh, what if it will never happen? You will never get funded, and maybe another loss, and maybe before you are recovered, then comes an open. And so, I think I can imagine how that feels if you have invested all your money, all your time into that, and then you lose everything.
Yeah, so it was a nightmare. But that was one of the worst days in my life. But when I think back now, it was actually one of the best days in my life.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
I can't be thankful enough that did happen.
But you took some action afterwards.
Exactly.
So that's
because if that wouldn't happen, I would never discover and create this new trading concept based on statistics and probabilities and have a happy life in the end, and also help others. So that's why all the time, don't look only for negativity. It's all the time a good part in everything. You just need to find it, all right? If you grab only the negative things in your life, it's hard to pass over the.
You have to be realistic, but you don't have to be pessimistic. That's not the proper way. Don't be naive, of course not, but don't be pessimistic against everything. And if you see an opportunity and you think about it, and you have your life experience, and if you say this could work, then give it a try. And that was the reason for me, maybe it helped that I'm an engineer and I'm used to work with numbers, and I see what numbers are. Numbers are inevitable, not inevitable in you cannot fake numbers, so to say.
It's math. 1 + 1 equals 2, no matter what.
And as I saw the concept and as I understood it, and I say, okay, you are looking at the same time period of every day, and you see min, max, and you have some entries, and I said, that could work. That could work, and it works.
That's trading with statistics and probabilities. That's what I'm trying to show to the entire trading world. I know it's not an easy process.
No, it's not.
My plan is to get there, after, again, open the Buster signals just to make some extra money for myself as a trader. After that, getting into teaching people and see the people results and see how you take away the pain from the people. Because Alexander doesn't have experience with technical analysis, but we have the majority of the people in the mentoring program, they are traders with experience that trade with technical analysis. And when you see how happy they are, that there is no need anymore to be stressed every single day, that's what makes you happy, what makes me happy, and what push me to open after that Funding Dynasty and the office here, and trying to show this trading concept to the trading world. This is not a plan for 2-3 years. This is a plan for 10-20 years. I want to be here for the next 10-20 years and show to the trading world that it's another way of doing trading. Great. Alexander, thank you very much for sharing your experience in trading bourses and your life experience. You know, because that's the most important. Your life experience, guys, your expectations, what you should looking to achieve from trading, from life, and so on, because this is directly impacting your results in trading. It's, you know, it's about an ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
So it has to be a balance in
and I can recommend it to everybody who is serious about this and who wants to make or is looking for a way making consistent money as an additional income. Then I would say you should give it a try. If you are checking yourself to be disciplined enough and you are able and you are ready to go a certain way, then do it. Give it a chance. I can say it as a complete newbie. I got from nothing into trading, and where I'm standing now, 1 year later. So I have funded capital. I'm building the next challenges, and so do it.
Thank you very much for your time, Alexander. It was
thanks for your invitation.
Pleasure.
It was an honor and a pleasure for me.
To me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Thanks. Bye.